So you have all these different types of collars and you don't know where to start, okay? So this quick little video is going to show you how I kind of transition my dogs from, being puppies all the way into, full maturity, on which collars I use, the pros and cons of each one, and so forth. But the biggest thing that I just want to stress when it comes to the type of collar is you got to understand it's a communication apparatus, okay? You got to understand it's not there to inflict pain, it's not there to beat up the dog, it's there to give clear communication of what you want from the dog. And the point of the collar is that that's the point of contact, okay? It's not the leash is attached to the collar. So the collar is literally the point of contact with you and the dog. So it's a communication apparatus, okay? Now, if you're just beating your dog up on a collar, chances are they're just not good with obedience and you got more work to do. Do not think of the collar as just putting a band-aid on a situation when there's other factors at play, okay? I see a lot of times with, obedience where people just want to just throw a pinch collar on because the trainer said, hey, gonna throw a pinch collar on, it's gonna be easier. Well, the trainer has never even seen the dog in a social setting, doesn't know if it's aggressive, it just says, hey, well, it's gonna be easier, so I'm just gonna do that, okay? Don't do that, okay? Actually use the collar as any point, and as always, I will always say use the least amount of, I don't want to say resistance, but least amount of stimuli and correction in order to get the dog to comply, okay? In order to have clear communications, different dogs need different types of collars, okay? That's just face facts. There are, slower dogs with less drive, there are high drive dogs, there are asshole dogs, there are chill dogs, so every single one can apply with a different type of collar, okay? So it's very individualized to that particular dog. It's not a one-size-fits-all type thing, okay? So I got the martingale. These are your most three common ones that I would use. I got the martingale, choker, good old pinch. The one you won't see here is just the flat collar, okay? Pretty much does nothing. When Ace was a pup, when Ava was a pup, I just used a martingale, okay? It's the same philosophy, so to speak, as a flat collar. It's just flat, but the one caveat is that it has a slight pressure point right there. So as the dog is pulling, or you're just trying to help them understand what leash pressure is, as in, I want to get out of this, I don't want to say uncomfortability, but dog wants to get out of having pressure around them, so therefore they're going to have to follow where you're going, okay? And that's what this one is for. Just like all these, really, it's all about pressure. Pressure is communication, okay? And you'll see, here, Ace, come here. Ace, come here. Got the big boy. Go with buddy. How you doing today? Come here, a little closer. Come here. There we go. Ace is a good boy, so we'll have no problem. Again, just slap it around. And you just gotta be careful because that point of pressure is right there, and that's where you put your leash on, okay? So now the dog has an understanding of what you want. We'll have a clearer understanding of what you want, okay? And just like anything, you want to introduce it positively. So anytime they see the leash, well, if you keep your collars on a leash, it's fine, as I do, they will get a positive association. Meaning they're gonna go outside, they're gonna play, even to this day, because now I'm taking them more outside more. As soon as they see it, they sit, give them treats. So as soon as they even look at it or smell it, give them treats. So first time you're putting them on a collar or lead, give them treats. So this way they are automatically associating what I'm about to have around me is okay. Something good is gonna come from it. So this way they'll be more amped up and they're not gonna be fighting you as you try putting it on. Okay, so love the martingale. Again, it's gonna be a little slight lesser pressure than of the three, which is fine. So again, with puppies, things like that, it's gonna be a little softer around their neck and they won't fight you as much, okay? Because again, I've seen it plenty of times where I see a puppy and automatically person wants to put a pinch collar on when they have no obedience at all, and I'm like, why are you doing that, okay? Next one would be your good old choker. And this is why I'm saying all collars are just a communication apparatus. So this one's just a little cleaner. It's a little bit heavier, it's got a little bit more weight. Okay, but same philosophy as the dog wants to pull, or you want to give them a sense of direction. As you pull, pressure comes on this way, and then for them to get out of that pressure, they have to follow you, and then it loosens up. See if I can get Ava. Sit. Come here. Sit. Now when it comes to the choker, sorry, you want to make that P when you're looking at them, so you just thread it through, boom, there it is, comes up, boom, there you have it. Okay, and again, from there, I think I did it on loose leash walking video. As soon as they want to pull, in order for them to get out, they got to follow that direction. Okay, you come this way, boom, sit, loosens up, done. Okay, thank you. But very clean. Again, these have been around forever. There is a reason why they work. Okay, but as always, make sure the dog understands what you want from them than just throwing it on there and hoping they start complying. Again, that's called putting a band-aid on a bigger situation. So understand your dog. Okay, last but not least, it's the good old pinch. My one issue that I originally had with the pinch was that was a pain in the ass to get on and off. Okay, especially with the links. But I believe it was Ray Allen now who actually has the adapter. This is just a Hermspringer, and again, you can do your own research, get whatever one you want. I don't get endorsements or anything. This is just the one I use and that I bought. Okay, one of the reasons is because, hopefully you can see it, they got the nice dull edges. You don't want to get the ones that are sharp, because those are the ones you hear the horror stories about, you know, the dog having scars under their fur, other than the fact that, you know, the apparatus was used poorly. But these are nice and dull. It's not going to hurt the dog. Again, this is why you got to help the dog understand what you want. So that means you still have to shape and lower and do good obedience. Okay, you just don't throw it on there and then you just start beating up the dog. That's being an asshole. You don't want to do that. Okay, it's not fair. Ace, come here. No, Ace is scratching because he's itchy. Ace, come here. I know you need your shot. But the best way about it is that with this one, it's got a belt buckle clip, boom, boom, so it's easy. Like I said, the original one I had was a pain in the ass because you literally had to fight the metal and get it in within the holes. But the same thing as the prior two, it's got a pressure point right up there. The only difference is with the, thank you, excuse you, with the actual pinch itself, with the leads itself, is mimicking how parents would discipline the pups if they were still with their mom and dad. Okay, so they were doing something wrong, mom would just bite them on the neck. It's mimicking that in a sense. Okay, it's getting a little bit deeper, that, you know, if they have thick fur, say that 5 times, it'll be a better communication than if they would say with the martingale or the with the fucking choker. Sorry, brain fart. Other big pros with this one is, again, and this is the one that usually freaks out most dogs, because again, there is more of a direct contact all the way down to the skin rather than the fur, and that's what you want with the pinch collar. Okay, so, and I've seen 1,000 times where a trainer just throws it on a pup for no rhyme or reason other than maybe just to sell them, and the dog freaks out. Yes, there's a portion of where the dog might freak out just because it's got a more direct contact to the actual skin itself, but there is no positive. Everyone's got a dog these days now, especially in my backyard. Got like 3 or 4 corners, and now I just heard another one. So this one is just more of a direct contact with the dog into the skin. Again, it's got these, you can get the caps on it, so if you're worried about how much is it actually going to hurt them, you can put the rubber caps on so it dulls it even more, so you're not, again, piercing any of the skin. But you want to, again, I'm gonna keep stressing it as I do with every single one of these, make it a positive experience. Teach the dog what the collar is for, and that's just communication. Just don't put it on and then just start beating up the dog by pulling it every which way, okay? That's just putting a band-aid on the situation. Now, some dogs will not do well with other collars than some, okay? Some dogs are very sensitive, highly overreactive, and in that case, by having something like this is gonna freak them out, and they might do better with just a choker or a martingale. Some dogs may need a little bit more, going to the other end of the spectrum, may need a little bit more contact, may need a little bit more clearer and firmer communication, where the pinch collar will be the way to go. Okay, but again, the only difference is the actual degree of communication. Each one is all about just putting pressure on it, and that's how you communicate with your dog. Understand your dog more so than just guessing, okay? You don't want to play jazz. Think things through, be analytical. If you see them being highly overreactive, stop and ask yourself, okay, do they have a positive association with the apparatus? Okay, or are they just highly overreactive? You know, think about different disciplines as you're working with different collars. Okay, as the dog matures, you may go back to, you know, just a standard choker. Okay, you can even go back to just a martingale. I've done it several times with Ace just because I just want to mix it up rather than always using the same collar. Just different collars, different stimuli, just to see how he was. So again, when it came to corrections, it's a little softer. Like I said, Ace is an old soul, so I didn't want something so harsh. But even though he responds just fine to a pinch, sometimes just to break up the monotony and test the dog, so to speak, try different collars. Okay, so read your dog. Make sure the dog understands what you want before you actually just throw a collar on and hope they know what they're doing. Okay, because that's not the case. That's not the point of a collar. The collar is for you to, yes, keep control of your dog, but at the same time to help communicate with them what you want. And each one just has a different degree of that. And then with each degree, and then again with just like each dog is very individualized. So help your dog understand what you want, and then you can start playing with it from there. But done right, collars are not there to be an abusive tool. I'm not going to get into the e-collars right now, just because I'll save that for a different video. But other than that, it's just a communication apparatus. So help them understand, and you'll have a strong dog. You'll have a better relationship. Good luck. Choose wisely. Done.